The Element of Insanity V3 mod just dropped, so in this video, I want to go over all the new characters and lore, and then we'll save the older songs for the end since I've already covered them. Now, the first song is called Friendship Problem, and it's based on the My Little Pony episode called Lesson 0. In the episode, Twilight was distressed because there was no friendship problems for her to solve, so she used her magic to make this stuffed pony called Smarty Pants irresistible to the other ponies, basically making them all fight over the doll. This is also why we see it floating around during the song in the FNF mod, and also why Skid and Pump's eyes turn to hearts whenever it pops up on the screen, something that is taken directly from the Lesson 0 episode. Now, in the show, all the ponies end up fighting each other over the doll, but I think the reason that Skid and Pump don't fight is because they have a really strong friendship, and even in their original show, they never actually fight or argue with each other, really. And just a couple of fun facts here, the beach ball that we see at the start of the song was also in the original Lesson 0 episode, and Twilight basically burst out of it. And the lines that we hear Skid and Pump say in the mod are actually from episode 2 of Spooky Month.
Oh no, it's the stranger! This is not, it's scary!
Oh kids, you just got tricked. And now it's time to get my treats.
Oh no, it's the stranger! This is not spooky, it's scary!
The next character is called SweetieBot, and she is from a fan dub version of My Little Pony called Friendship is Witchcraft. I think they were around for a few years before they actually received a cease and desist letter from the My Little Pony franchise. Apparently they didn't like them actually dubbing over their animation. But with that being said, the SweetieBot that we see in the mod is specifically from a fan-made video called Fear Me Reanimated, where people made her look like an actual android. The next song is called Nostalgia, and it has a version of Fluttershy from a YouTube video called Antinymph, I believe is how it's pronounced. And from my understanding, it is a type of music video featuring Fluttershy in a Gur hoodie. And for my young people, Gur is a character from a TV show called Invader Zim. It seems like this was just a passion project from the original creator and a few other friends. And I think the point that they were trying to make with this video was basically to follow your passion, have fun, and make things that you are happy with regardless of what other people may think about it. All the random memes and images are from the various people that helped create the original video. The creator basically just told everyone to add something of their choice into the video, which is why it is like wonderfully random. Next we have Pinkie Pie and Scissor Twilight, and both of these characters are from the creator of a Tumblr page that is called As Scissor Twilight. I believe that the story was on pause for a while because the original artist ended up getting sick for over 2 years, but with the help of Patreon, she was able to revive the series. And from my understanding, the backstory is that Pink and Mina basically ambushed Twilight while she was walking in the park and cut off her wings and her legs with a chainsaw. And while I don't know the reason for it, Pink and Mina didn't really need a reason to hurt ponies in the past, so this actually kind of tracks with her character. And the version of Pinkie Pie that we see in the mod here is from the Scissor Twilight series, but I don't know why they tried to make the pony look kind of sexy. If there's one thing that I've learned, is that there is a subset of My Little Pony fans that kind of get into some weird stuff, so it's best to just not ask. Also, the comments that we see pop up in the mod here are supposed to represent some of the comments that the creator was getting on her Tumblr blog. Now, the next characters are ones that we've already seen before, so I'm going to use an older audio for this part, so don't jump down my throats in the comments. Now, let's go ahead and start off with Fluttershy and her shed first. Now, for those of you that don't know, the shed scene is actually from an animation created by Hot Diggity Demon back in 2012. And I know this is going to sound weird to say, but her animation was kind of sad because she was bullied very badly by the other ponies. But the one thing that was consistent was even after taking that abuse, she would always tell them to stay out of her shed. Now, of course, Rainbow Dash and some of the other characters just went ahead and ignored that advice and ended up going into her shed anyway. Now, when they go into the shed, that's where they see all these dead bodies, brains, and blood everywhere. This is why in the mod you see all these little chipmunks and other forest creatures that are basically decapitated or they've had their body completely ripped open. It seems that this is what Fluttershy was doing in her shed the whole time. Now, when the ponies actually walk into the shed, they actually get trapped in there because Fluttershy comes in behind them. And that is when Fluttershy goes ahead and cuts right through Rainbow Dash's head after strapping her to a chair. We kind of see a reference to this in the mod, but Boyfriend is actually literally decapitated, where Rainbow Dash in the actual animation is cut down the middle. The cops breaking into the house at the end is actually a direct reference from the animation as well. The cops gets there after it's already done, meaning after boyfriend and the mod is already dead, and then the animation after Fluttershy already killed Rainbow Dash. But some of you may be happy to know that Fluttershy does end up going to an insane institution in the actual animation. Now, if Fluttershy's voice sounds familiar to you, it's probably because her mannerisms are based off an old school character named Fat Albert. Old school My Little Pony fans will probably also recognize that this is a reference to an episode called Bridal Gossip, where these blue flowers cause Fluttershy to actually talk in a deep voice. And just a fun fact about Fluttershy here is that she's one of the only characters in Friday Night Funkin', including the mods, to actually ever kill Boyfriend. You can count how many people actually kill him on one hand, I think. And actually put down in the comments who has actually killed Boyfriend, because I honestly can't think of more than 3 people. Now that we have covered Fluttershy, let's go ahead and take a look at Pinkie Pie and the backstory of her creepypasta. Fair warning, this one is super dark as well. Now this story only actually has 2 ponies in it, is Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash, and basically Pinkie decides to ask Rainbow to come over to her house one day to help her bake cupcakes. Rainbow Dash, having no reason to reject that offer, of course rushes over to help her friend. When she arrives though, she realizes that she's actually supposed to be a part of this cupcake recipe, but she realizes too late, and Pinkie actually puts Rainbow to sleep. When Rainbow does manage to wake up, she's strapped to this metal slab, and this is where Girlfriend comes into play in the Friday Night Funkin' mod, because she's actually strapped to this metal slab just like Rainbow Dash was in the creepypasta. Now it hasn't been confirmed, but I think it's safe to assume that Rainbow Dash is also strapped to a metal plate on the other side of the room, and that's why she looks so panicked and crazy as she's watching Pinkie Pie about to dissect Girlfriend, because realistically she knows that if Boyfriend doesn't beat Pinkie Pie, she's probably gonna die after Girlfriend does. Now to get back to the actual creepypasta story, this is where it gets a bit darker. When Rainbow Dash wakes up, she notices that the room is filled with the corpses of ponies that Pinkie Pie has already killed, and she is also wearing their wings and cutie marks as well. And this is where Pinkie just straight up tells Rainbow Dash that she's going to use her as the special ingredient in her cupcakes. And of course they couldn't show this in the Friday Night Funkin' mod because it would get just completely taken down, or at the very least demonetized, but Rainbow Dash gets her wings cut off, gets her cutie marks cut off, and she basically gets dismembered. And all the while Pinkie is making jokes and kind of happy about what she's doing to her. A quote that stood out to me is when Pinkie says that she's happy to have a friend actually helping her make cupcakes, which I'm sure was not Rainbow Dash's intention. And then to add insult to injury, she adds that she wishes that Rainbow was tougher, literally as she's chopping her apart. The thing that I find most messed up about this creepypasta is that Pinkie Pie makes sure that she waits until Rainbow Dash is awake before she starts to basically cut her apart. The idea is that she wanted her to feel all of the pain while she was doing it to her. So while editing this video, I realized that I missed the character called Discord, and basically this guy was a dragon who was like the ruler of Equestria back in the day, but then Princess Celestia and I think Princess Luna basically came and sealed him in stone. But later they decided that his power was too great to go to waste, so they basically turned him from evil to good, so that all his power can now go to like a good cause. And we're looking in the wiki, they still have a upcoming tab, which has a pony called Derpy on there and another one called Dreamy Rainbow. So maybe there's going to be another version of this mod coming out in the future. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, check out this video on the screen here. Subscribe today, become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Peace, peace.